had it happen to them will tell you that it is devastating to be cheated on, and our next guest can attest to that. Mandy Stadtmiller says her first husband cheated on her, and the experience proved so devastating that it led to destructive behavior of her own. Later, she would meet her current husband, who admits that in an earlier relationship he was living a secret life of infidelity. But the two say that their own past transgressions have led them now to marital bliss with each other. Watch this.
I'm Mandy Stadtmiller.
I'm Pat Dixon.
And we have been married 3 years in November.
It's strange, but I don't think without infidelity we'd be together today.
I got married the first time in 2000, and I found out that he was cheating on me with different women, and it made me feel like the biggest fool that everyone was laughing at.
I was cheating on the woman that I would marry the first time before we got married. I was far too young to have any sense of forever.
After my first marriage, which ended because of infidelity, I got involved with a man and we were very serious. And I, one night, just realized that there were so many things I was unhappy about, and I used all of that as a means of justifying a split-second decision to cheat.
A few months into my second marriage, I met a woman on the road who was so enthusiastic to have a good time, and it became a fierce kind of affair.
After that relationship ended where I cheated and that ended it, I engaged in a lot of questionable behavior, and the worst was becoming the other woman to a married man.
Infidelity didn't lead to the end of my marriages. It was, I think it's more of a symptom than a cause.
I eventually reached out to someone who I had thought was kind of cute, and that person was this comedian named Pat Dixon. And 7 months later, I got married to him.
I never loved anybody like her, and there's no way I would ever let her get away. You know what I've learned? It takes a lot out of your marriage when you cheat.
I think that we have our happily ever after, and cheating was part of the journey that led us to it.
Joining me now, Mandy Stadtmiller and Pat Dixon. Mandy actually writes about sex and relationships for The Cut and is the author of the book Unwifeable. Unwifeable, which is such an interesting title, Mandy. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
So can we just go back to marriage, your first marriage, because that is really the root of everything, right?
Definitely.
Your first husband cheated on you, and I guess there are relative scales of cheating, but it was brutal.
It was really brutal. There was several different women, and I think the most devastating was this one woman who was always trying to be my best friend, and at one point I got her a job, and one time she insisted on spending the night because she said she was too drunk, and I woke up at 4 or 5 in the morning to see my husband coming downstairs wearing my bathrobe with sweat on his chest, and I just knew, and he said, I think I am addicted to porn. And I believed him but didn't really believe him. And the next day I vomited. I mean, I was physically ill. And it really shattered. And it took him months to admit that he held up the lie for quite a while. And another woman, it was like I had single white female kind of experiences. Another woman who, she would always reach out and compliment me on my writing, and she wanted to take pictures of me. She was having an affair with him at the same time that we were in marriage counseling.
To me, as I read your story, that single event was devastating. And as I saw what happened in your life thereafter, it's so rooted in that. It was a traumatic revelation in your life. And so you went on, you're open about the fact that in your next relationship, it wasn't a marriage, but you cheated on your boyfriend, a long-term relationship. And do you feel, looking back at that you were, and then went on to become somebody else's affair partner who was married?
Right.
Were you trying to work something out there?
Yeah, I think that sometimes if we've really been hurt by something, we think we can pummel it into submission if we make it mean nothing to us.
Yeah.
And so I think I did that with sex. Like, no one's ever going to hurt me again. Oh, you call me unwifeable? I'll show you unwifeable. I will act in the most ridiculous, embarrassing, personally dehumanizing ways.
One of the lines that jumped out at me was, so you meet Pat, and he's got his own history, which we'll talk to you about in a minute, but you wrote, confessing to your husband, they would wind up married, confessing to your husband the extent of the disrespect you tolerated in your earlier relationship can feel like telling a secret you always kept deeply buried. Here is the story of how my ex saw clearly my worthlessness.
Right.
That moment of sharing what had happened to you, that you felt it reflected negatively on you, his cheating.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I felt the reason I call my book Unwifeable is because I felt everything about myself. I felt unlovable, unworthy, unsuccessful, just you know, and I so internalized all of this negativity, and it took me so long to realize that I needed to take care of my side of the street, that I wasn't just the victim with all this stuff happening to me, that I was letting people treat me this way. And that's the only way that you can come out of it, is if you just view yourself as, oh, I'm just, you know, I am someone who all these awful things have happened to me.
Poor
Yeah,
me.
exactly. And instead it's like, well, you know, I was doing this. I was staying. I was in all of this all along. I cheated on you know, I mean, you can't ever make someone else give you the perfect apology to heal yourself.
But you can change your own behavior.
Exactly.
And what you require of others. You know, they say you teach others how to treat you.
Right.
And I find it much more empowering, instead of to say, poor me and I have terrible luck, to say, I control my own luck and I will create a good future for myself. That has always worked for me. And it worked for you, ultimately.
Yeah.
I want to get to this. You know how some people say, once a cheater, always a cheater, right?
Right, yeah.
So we're going to talk about is that true? Is that true? Because these two have actually a lovely story. It's a little bumpy on the road, and we'll pick it up there next. And we're back now with Mandy Stadtmiller and her husband, Pat Dixon. Both have admitted to cheating on previous partners, but they say they have found, after brushes with infidelity, their own happily ever after. Pat, you had 2 previous marriages, and you were on the road a lot doing comedy, and are open about the fact that you were basically living a double life.
Sometimes, yeah, I was. Yeah, when my life on the road started to feel more real to me than my life at home, that's when I knew that it was kind of done. But
you had a mistress who would go on the trips with you.
Yeah, that was my second wife, and yeah, we traveled everywhere together. And you know, I had my wife at home and her to go with, and they were so completely different. You know, my wife was sort of quiet; she was a little depressed, and I couldn't crack that, and so I just took an easy way out. You know, and I found there was a woman who said yes to everything. You know. And would go to the park, you know, and it was really an emotional affair with physical, you know, entanglements.
Right. But then, in your case, I think the critical difference, hopefully, will be that you got a lot of therapy. You actually looked inside and figured out what was making you do it, which was what?
Well, you know, it was just that it never occurred to me to not have a girlfriend my whole life. I was just pulled towards a relationship that I wasn't ready to have. I'm talking teens, 20s, 30s. And then I realized that I was using a partner or, you know, another woman to kind of like fuel, you know, something in me to make me feel good. I would find myself, you know, if I never set out to cheat, but if I would have like a charged moment with a woman, I would prolong it, you know, and then over time, it could be hours, it could be weeks, boundaries kind of melt away, and, you know, and you find yourself there.
It was filling some void or some insecurity in you.
I think so. Yeah, something to that nature.
Well, that's not unusual. And the truth is that cheating is not unusual. With us in the audience today is Melissa Dahl. She's actually senior editor of The Cut and has done a lot of writing on this subject, a lot of studying of this subject. I mean, how common is it for infidelity to happen in a relationship?
So cheating is super common. That's the thing I really want to emphasize for anyone maybe watching this at home. You know, it can feel so isolating, like you're the only one this has happened to. But studies have consistently shown over decades that 1 in 4 married couples will experience infidelity. It's incredibly common.
So it's not, we had our first guest who was married to what she said was a sociopath. Most people who cheat are not sociopaths. They cheat for all sorts of reasons. They're unhappy with themselves. So now, how do you two get to a place that I know you've described as marital bliss, right? How do you trust each other? How about you? How do you trust that he's not going to cheat on you?
Well, we have a very honest, transparent, authentic discussion of boundaries and of what both of us are comfortable with. And we also have things like an open phone policy, which is not because we don't trust each other, but because I think both of us know how easy it is for micro cheating to happen. You know, I mean, Pat told me one time, I'm a reporter, so I'm constantly talking to men for stories. Mm-hmm. And I think he saw like a little heart emoji or something that I had sent. And we ended up having a discussion about that felt like a little bit emotional infidelity.
Well, I mean, I know that things grow out of small things or whatever, but like leaving that aside, you know, about an emoji or something, I mean, it's just important that whatever your boundary is, that I think if you discuss it and know what it is and be honest about it, even if it is something small, your emotions are real, you know, and whether or not it's right or wrong, you have to leave that out of it.
Completely agree with that.
And also, I mean,
feelings are not wrong.
All of the research shows that when people have affairs, they say, it made me feel so alive. And a lot of times it's just the burden of familiarity that can doom a relationship. And so when we are sick of each other, we tell each other that, you know, I mean,
no, that's good.
Yeah.
I always say the thing you least want to say. That's the key to a happy relationship. Because then it gives the other person the chance to respond, to say, I'll make an effort to spice things up. I'll read something interesting. I'll take you out on a staycation. You know, we'll go stay overnight in a hotel someplace. We'll do something naughty. Swing by Ricky's. I'm just saying there are opportunities in honesty that really, I think, allow for greater intimacy. I'm completely rooting for both of you. Thank you so much for telling your story.
Thank you.
All the best to you. We'll be right back.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.